talk about solving logarithmic equations when you have log on both sides of the equation. Now, how do we do that? You always try to end up with something like this. Log of m equals log of n, where you have only one log on the left, one log on the right, because what you can do now is you can cross out the logs and you end up having m equals n, something easy that you can solve. Now, how can you end up with one log on the left and one log on the right? We have to use what we learned previously, which is how to condense to one log. To do that, we learned three different properties. We have the product property, we have the quotient property, and we have the power property. So let's look at our first example. Log base 7, 3x plus 5 equals log base 7, 8x minus 12. As you can see, I have only one log on the left, I have only one log on the right, so I can apply this rule where I can cross out the log 7. I will end up having 3x plus 5 equals 8x minus 12. Now, it's an easy equation to solve. You have to move the x's to one side of the equation, so let me subtract 3x from both sides. I end up having 5 equals 5x minus 12, and then I need to add 12 to both sides. So 5 plus 12 is a 17. 17 is equal to 5x. Now to solve for x, you have to divide by 5. So x will end up being 17 over 5. You can give me the answer as a fraction, or you can just divide them on the calculator and give it to me as a decimal. Now let's move on to our next example. Now, yes, I see one log on the left and one log on the right, but there is a number in front of the log that's not acceptable. I need to push it back as a power. So I have log base 2 of x to the power 3 equals log base 2 of 27. Now, since I end up having only one log on the left, one log on the right, and there's nothing being added or multiplied, I can actually cross out the logs. So now I have x to the power 3 equals 27. Now, how can I find x? You can cube root both sides to get x by itself. So x is equal to the cubic root of 27. How can you find the answer for that? You go to math, then you scroll down to where you see cubic root of x. You click on that, and you put on the calculator cubic root of 27, and press enter. That's going to be 3. So x is equal to 3. That's how you solve a log equal log type of equation. Now, number 7. Now, to solve something like this, remember you always have to condense to only one log. Now, the left side is good. I only have one log on the left side. Now, let's see how we can condense the right side. I see a number in front of the log, so I can use the power property and push it back up. So I have log base 2 of x equals log base 2, 3 to the power 2, plus log base 2 of 5. So I push the 2 back as a power, and I just use something called the power property. Now, I still have two different logs on the right side. I still need to combine them. How do I do that? I think which property works now. I have an addition between those two logs. So the second property I need to use is the product property, which says you can condense these two logs into one log by multiplying what's inside the logs, these two arguments. So 3 to the power 2 times 5, if you put that in the calculator, it's going to be 45. And that's equal to log base 2 of x. Now, since I condensed the right side to only one log, I can now cross the logs, and x is equal to 45. That's my final answer. Now, let's move on to number 8. Now, if you look at number 8, I can see that the right side is condensed. I only have one log on the right side, but I can condense these two logs on the left side to only one log. So I have to decide what type of property I need to use. There's a minus between them. So the property that I will use is called the quotient property. Now, what can I do to combine them or condense them into one log? I have to divide the two arguments. So 48 over x. I end up only with one log, and that's how I condense them. That's equal to log base 8 of 4. Now, since I have a log on the left and a log on the right, I can cross these two out, and I will end up having 48 over x equals 4. Now cross multiply, so 48 is equal 4x. Now to solve for x, you need to divide both sides by 4, so x is equal 48 divided by 4, which is a 12. And that's going to be my final answer. Now I hope this video was helpful. Make sure that you practice using the practice sheet for this lesson, and please come for tutorials if you need any help.